In the beginning, when we arrived over in Ghana, it was very beautiful to see how professional the factories look like when I arrived. The only challenge that I had in the beginning was more the infrastructure getting to the factory. The roads are not as best as we all know, but I think the professionalism about the way they treat their factory was very good. When we came over here, I think we started meeting all the factories and the suppliers. Building trust with them was so important because I was on the ground, ready to meet them. I could see them at any point, get a meeting at the site, and ensuring that my presence was just actively seen. Yeah, in the beginning, it was more like me meeting the people, getting to know them. As I just said, being present and always actively in Ghana to meet them evolved my role because it was easy to help them answer any questions that they have during WasteTrade, because WasteTrade is something new for them, where the internet, the website, placing their materials on the website for them to bid was something innovative. Getting to learn about how the processes work here in Ghana was very important, and I evolved by meeting them, going to the sites and making sure that any questions they have face to face could be answered. Yeah, when it comes to the time zone is very easy to manage. It's just 1 hour difference between England and Holland, so that's very easy. I think with the culture, I'm lucky that I'm born in Amsterdam. I'm from Ghanaian descent, my parents are, so I think the best of both worlds, as I always say. I know a lot about how the Europeans work their processes, but I also know how the Ghanaians want to be confronted, treated, and talked to, so that helps a lot. The difference between Ghana and the international workflow, work ethics is Ghana is a bit more relaxed when it comes to checking the materials and seeing what the materials actually is and segregating the materials. So what I'm trying to do is getting the work ethics from Europe to Ghana, which makes that they're more critical in testing the material and checking what actually the material is. When it comes to the logistics is something that's very challenging. We're trying to find out how we can communicate with the drivers or any person that delivers the materials or bring in the materials. When it comes to the compliance is very new, where my work ethics towards the compliance is very different with the Ghanaians, and I always try to make jokes about how we Europeans do things, and they're starting to understand that as well. One thing that's very important to say is that the pricing in Europe and the pricing in Ghana is very different. I think being very accurate and transparent in telling them what the prices are and what we can offer for the material, I think that's where WasteTrade is very different. It's not what they really want for their material, it's more that what the customer bids on the material. And I think that's the reality we can bring as WasteTrade, where the buyers all over the world bid on the material, and then they show what the suppliers here, what the actual price is. The infrastructure strength is the local people being actively involved in collecting the material and seeing that there's value to the materials they're collecting. What I've seen with the limitation is the separation of the material. I think the local people should be more educated in separating the material and getting to learn how important the separation is. During my journey right now, I've seen that the domestic demand is very high. You see a lot of products being made, like table, chairs, and buckets to wash in. So the domestic demand is also very high in Ghana, and that gives us also opportunities to maybe see where we can import materials. When it comes to the international export, when we look at the bigger companies, we've seen that a lot of companies have seen that we here in Ghana have a lot of material to offer. The quality of the material is the same material as they have in Europe, so that's why the exporting of all the things is very attractive for us and for them as well. When we look at the changing ecosystem of the whole recycling environment all over the world, we've seen that the demand is been growing. What I've seen over here in Ghana is that we can supply that demand as well. There's a lot of, when it comes to say like the PET bottles, we've been to companies where there's a lot of PET bottles available to get built and shipped out. We're trying to link the bigger companies all over the world to show them as well that we as Ghana can supply them with all the materials we need. So when it comes to the demand, there's a lot of demand at the minute, and I think there's a lot of material available as well to source that demand. The role of the informal aggregators over here is supply the formal sectors with the material. What we are trying to do as well is be not the middleman, but be an extra ally for the informal sector, so it's easier to get the pricing right and easy to connect them to the formal sector. I've seen that the informal sector and the formal sector are working together very good, but I think we as WasteTrade can source them with pricing, the informal sector with good pricing, and also be honest to the formal sector what the pricing is. What I've seen here in Ghana is that the formal companies have the bigger machines and act more professional with separating the materials. By separating the materials it ensures less contamination, which means it adds value to the material on its own. Also, by baling the raw material as the PET flakes, baling the materials is also easier to export. And I think the formal companies are more structured and have more strength to make that happen. The informal market is basically where all the hands are. All the strength comes from the informal market. I think the biggest challenges that we have here in Ghana when it comes to recycling are the market inefficiencies. And the market inefficiencies is basically exactly telling what the material is and what kind of contamination the material has. The position in the documenting the information about the material is so important, and I think that's the biggest challenge together with the infrastructure. The key opportunities and challenges in Ghana's waste trade often revolve around bottlenecks and market inefficiencies. Gaps in information, logistics, and coordination all create friction, but it also opens door for greater transparency. And I think it's very important because it also improves access to buy, streamlining flows, ensuring fair pricing, and I think overall unlocking new markets. When this whole process is managed effectively, international trade not only meets global demand, but it also will support local growth and sustainable value chains throughout. I think my work is very focused on bridging those gaps. The role of a waste trade over here in Ghana and Africa is making sure that everything is transparent and everything is clear, and definitely show from A to Z how things work. The important thing about waste trade is that we're international, which means that we know all the prices all over the world. Give an example, when you ask for a price in Holland, Amsterdam, and compare it to the prices over here in Africa, it's very easy to see the difference, and that's why we can give fair prices. We can openly ask what's the price in, like what I say, in Amsterdam or in Dubai. We can actively show them as well, this is the price in this region, so this is actually the price we can give you for your materials. Transparency is very important at waste trade. Successful waste trade looks like expanding our borders. We as waste trade see success when we have offices all over the world. Sustainable and efficient supply chains where materials flow smoothly. At waste trade, it's important for us to expand our borders and include growth for workers, small businesses, and the communities. We would like to create transparent markets that attract buyers, and we want to have resilient partnerships that adapt to market changes and overall reduce inefficiencies. We want to keep our reputation for fairness and leadership in global waste trade, and that's our overall goals.